Welcome to the last of the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982 podcast, brought to you by Deets on Man Productions.
Well, our junior year, Rhonda Rizzo and Lisa Hutchins convinced me to try out for Willie the Wildcat. And so Willie is the name of the Wildcat.
Well, I did some things that made me very happy at the time. I'm in a much better place at this point.
He's okay, but he's been hit by a car and he's kind of in repose on Adams Boulevard right now.
Say what you mean and mean what you say. I think it's important for them to get for them to be confident using their own voice.
The things you think are the biggest problems you've got right now are really not that big a deal.
I can assure you that the statistical probability of death remains constant at 100%. None of us, to quote Jim Morrison, nobody gets out of here alive.
Pernell says, next time you guys should at least play Willie Nelson. Oh, man.
Hey, this is Scott Townsend. Welcome back to the last of the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982. And today I have with me a Wildcat that's been employed with the same company for 38 years, I think. We'll ask him in just a second. So help me welcome Keith Clark. Keith, how's it going?
Doing good.
Did I get the years right? 38?
Well,
you start when you were like
18th,
5?
August 18th, next week on Wednesday, it will be 39 years.
39 years. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
So everybody
if I make it that
Keith,
long, I still got 5 more days. I don't know. They may fire me. You never know.
You've been saying that for 38 years.
They've been saying the same thing. Why haven't we fired him?
Oh, man. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Chocolate? No. A College High Wildcat Long John. You ever seen one?
Is this an official thing?
It is. It's half a maple bar and half a chocolate Long John. It's the best of those. Black and gold. I'm telling you, it's the newest thing. You know, the donut industry needs some change. You know, it hasn't changed in a long time, but come to Pop's Daylight Donuts and they're going to have one.
They are?
It might be free. I hope so. I'm going to sell it. I made my own today.
That's not a, you did?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Buy 2 of them and cut them in half?
I did. No, man. I'm creative. So I have 2 of them.
That's funny. So what's been going on, man? Last 30, here we are. We're the last of the Wildcats, 1982. You've seen some of the episodes we've done with others. Hang on a second. I almost had to yawn there. Whoa. So let's see. When you look back on College High, 1982, what's the first thing you think of? What memories, if any?
Oh, I think in my high school days, I was kind of a quiet behind the scenes. You know, I do remember auto mechanics class and mechanical drawing with Mr. Smith.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Mr. Griffin, it's auto mechanics. You know, if Butch Bolin and Jim Webb, if I would have known what they did in summer school with English, I could have had no classes my senior year because the only class I had was English. I goofed off on all the rest of them.
Really?
So, yeah, it's just Butch, I was your friend. I used to skateboard with you. Why didn't you talk to me, Butch? Come on, man. Okay.
You only had one class in your senior year?
Well, I was an assistant in Mr. Griffin's auto mechanics class to the sophomores. I had a mechanical drawing class, I think.
Smith.
I had a study hall. I had a work release. So I got out 2 hours early.
To go work at Phillips.
No, I didn't work at Phillips at that time.
Bicycle
I worked
shop?
at the bicycle shop.
No.
I had the coolest jobs. And I didn't work at no jewelry store. I worked at a bicycle shop with David Deere, working on bicycles. You know what's amazing about that?
What's that?
Is David and I, back in 1982, we were probably making 10 to 12 bucks an hour. It was crazy. We were working on a commission and we got paid so much based on how hard we worked. So every time we worked on a bike, we got like 30% of the labor. So we figured out how to work really hard and make a lot of money. And we made a lot of money. But they went bankrupt, went out of business. So
They were located right across United Linen.
Yep, on the west side of the tracks.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, so cool. So your senior year, you were kind of quiet. Everything's nothing crazy, no trouble.
You want to talk about elementary school?
No.
You haven't done that.
This isn't the last of the.
But it's the last of the limestone, the Bengals.
What's that?
Because limestone's not here anymore either. You know, limestone's torn down.
You're confusing me. Phil Garfield's torn down for that matter.
Yeah, Garfield's gone. Limestone's gone.
God, I hated Garfield.
We used to go down when we were at Central. Remember going down from Central and we would play softball behind the in the Garfield playground because it was already closed down by that time.
I don't remember that.
We would take our gym class. Weren't you in gym? And we'd walk down there and we'd play, I think it was softball.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened after high school? So nothing remarkable about high school. So this is really just a wasted episode. We're just gonna Keith can't remember anything. Didn't have a good time. Huh? No, this is not about limestone. This is about College High. The last of the last graduating class of Col-Hi Wildcats 1982.
Here's something that's remarkable.
Is there any? Did I miscommunicate?
Here's something remarkable at College High.
What?
Except it happened in 1976. So in 1976, they had the all-school track meet. Do you remember that? And my teacher in 1976, when I was in 6th grade, said, you have to sign up for something. And I said, I don't want to sign up. I had like John Dunaway, Brad Fletcher, Lauren Johnson. You know, we had a lot of superstar athletes. Randy Savage, you know, he won the pump, pass, and kick thing in like 6th grade. And but she said, you have to sign up for something. So I signed up for high jump because I was an okay high jumper, you know, but John Dunaway was much better. And Brad Fletcher, I think, was much better. But we went to the high school to have our all-city track meet. And we lined up to go to the high jump. And we started jumping probably like at 3 feet, which was no problem. Got up to like 3'6", no problem. Got up to 3'9", no problem. Got up to 4 foot. By this time, there wasn't very many people left in the thing. But for some reason, I was still there.
4 foot? That doesn't sound very high.
But I was only like 4'10".
High jumping.
I was short.
So you're not using a pole. You're just jumping, running and jumping over.
I did pole vaulting at Central in 7th grade, but I'm just running, jumping with my feet.
Okay.
So at 4 foot, we made it. And by this time, there's probably like 4 or 5 people. And, you know, I kind of lost track of how high we were. And pretty soon, I think it was me and John Dunaway and this kid named Collins. I think he was from another school, but he was like a foot taller than me.
You're up to 8 feet now, right?
Well, not 8 feet, but so we're jumping and I'm thinking, man, I'm feeling pretty good. So we keep jumping. And then a couple of my friends came by and said, Keith, do you know how high you're jumping right now? I said, don't talk to me. Don't tell me. I'm focused. I'm in the zone, man. And so pretty soon, John Dunaway, he misses and you get 2 attempts, but he misses and he misses on his second attempt and he's out. And I'm thinking, whoa. Now it's down to me and Collins. I think that kid's name was Collins, but he was like a foot taller than me. And we jumped and we jumped and we jumped. We got all the way to 4'5". and he made it, and then I made it, but I didn't know it was 4'5". So then we went to 4'6", and I just barely missed it, and he made it on his second attempt, and he won, and I came in second.
Wow.
But I was only like probably 5 foot tall. I was short. I might have been 5'1" too, but it was I was famous for that 30 seconds. I came back, I beat John Dunaway, I beat them all. I came back to Limestone, and I was the king of the high jump.
There you go.
So
For a day.
For a day. And everybody forgot it and moved on. But I never did. I never forgot it. So
Where's your claim to fame?
my claim to fame. And it
So
happened to College High, right there in the middle of the football field.
Hmm.
The high jump pit. So you never knew that, did you,
I
Scott?
did not know that. No,
We've been friends for what, 50 plus years?
probably, yeah.
I never
Did not
told you
know
that.
that. Yeah.
Probably a whole lot of people don't know that. John
Well, they do
Dunaway might
now.
remember it. John Dunaway probably says, damn, I forgot about that. So John, I'm sorry I beat you that day. That was probably the only time I ever beat you.
So you graduated College High. What was your favorite class? Sounds like you were automotive and mechanical drawing were.
Yeah, I really hated school, which is sad. Here's what's crazy.
No, I appreciate the honesty there and vulnerability. I mean, if that's what it was, then that's what it was.
I don't know. But it is interesting listening to some of the interviews,
Yeah.
Chris Service talking about, because I was so insecure with myself and, I didn't talk to people. But I will say, Mr. Love, American history,
Yeah,
I didn't do very good. I cheated on every one of his tests with note
you
cards.
did.
Yeah.
You cheated?
I cheated every one of them. Everybody did, I think. But, a couple of people got caught because they weren't very good. But we would make these little note cards, I forgot, that the
Who was your
But I still
girlfriend in
learned
high
that.
school?
my girlfriend. I wouldn't talk to a girl. I was too scared. I was like, I was
Who
like,
did you want to
whoa.
be your girlfriend in high school?
So
Who'd
actually,
you-
it was nobody from Bartlesville.
Okay.
And I did see this girl at Pizza Hut. And David Hayden, one of our classmates that
Mhm.
passed away years ago, good guy. And I tried to get him to help me set me up on a date with her, but he didn't do it. He said, I guess he thought I wasn't good enough for her. I don't know. He actually said she had a boyfriend, she thought, but maybe just so. But there's more to that
Didn't want to
story.
get involved.
Yeah.
He didn't
That
want
was
to get
1982.
involved. 1982.
Didn't want to get involved.
So no girls in the high school class.
No. So
What did you you didn't go to prom, did you? Did you go to prom? You didn't go to prom, did you?
no, I didn't go to prom. I went to Best Yet and played Miss Pac-Man at Best Yet. Because you and David went to prom. I didn't have nobody to hang out with. I was abandoned.
So Best Jet, yeah, you were like the Miss Pac-Man king.
Yeah,
What were the ghosts' names?
that was my girlfriend, Miss Pac-Man, I guess.
What were the ghosts' names in Miss Pac-Man?
I don't know. I just ate them all. I was so fast, I didn't have time to see the names. I was,
So
I played
mean,
Miss
you were
Pac-Man
pretty
at-
good actually. You were really
I
good.
was
Was there
very good.
anybody better than you around here?
I don't
Did you
think so.
remember?
Nobody ever challenged me. I hit like 130 some thousand points. I actually played Miss Pac-Man the other day, about a year ago. I saw
Mhm.
one, and my daughter was with me, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm gonna play this game." And I said, I took off, and she's like, "Dad, you're pretty good." And I got like 68 or 70,000 points, and I thought maybe I should buy one and put it in my living room.
Yeah, you
But
should
my
buy
wife's-
one. Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy a Miss
That's
Pac-Man
awesome.
machine.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Money,
You know what?
Money's
You
not the most
only
important
live
thing.
once. YOLO.
Exactly.
You only live
Miss
once.
Pac-Man. The next 2 years. If I haven't bought one in 2 years, Scott, you can pick it out and just take my credit card and buy it. So remind me, because I do get
man.
old and I forget things
Yeah.
because I'm old.
At Shane's games, there was what were the games back then? Asteroids, Miss Pac-Man, of course, Pac-Man, Centipede.
I had one game, Miss
Miss
Pac-Man.
Yeah,
That's what I focused on.
yeah.
Yes, I was good at it.
Hours and hours of Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah. We walked into Shane Games one night. I think you were there. And there was like 3 or 4 of us. And we walked up to the machine and I had a jacket on. And one of the guys took my jacket off like I was some superstar. Took my jacket off and everybody's looking around and they held my jacket and they all crowded around and they said, "Go, Keith." So I did.
So that was a quarter. You could put 1 quarter in and play for how long?
Oh, 15, 20 minutes at least. I would get so far up that the game would quit giving me extra lives, which I always thought was cheap, because eventually it just said, you ain't getting no more. And they got faster and they wouldn't even turn blue. When you hit the dot, they would turn and you could eat them for like 5 or 6 seconds. And then they went down to like 1 second. Pretty soon they wouldn't even turn. And then you're just running for your life. You had to outrun those suckers. And there was 4 of them chasing you. It's crazy.
I never
Good
got
times.
that far. Yeah.
No, you never did.
So after high school, we've all graduated. You went to work at the gas station there on Frank Phillips and Jennings, is it? Or Frank
Phillips and Keeler,
Keeler?
right in front of the 1 block from company headquarters.
And it's a park now, right?
It's a park.
That
That's
location.
another thing. They should have a little sign down there. Frank Phillips 66 and have our names of the last people that worked there. I actually shut down that station.
Huh? Oh, you did?
Yep. I was the last one that turned the key.
You just drove it into the ground,
and locked
did
the
you?
door. And the next day, the bulldozers came in, took out the windows, and by the end of the day, it was nothing but a piece of dirt. Pulled the fuel tanks out.
So
Good times.
you started off with Phillips working in the gas stations, and you've been with Phillips ever since.
Yeah, you want to hear how that day went?
What day?
The day I got hired, or the day I turned in my application.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened when after the bicycle shop went out of business, I had to get another job. So I went to work selling
Who was the guy
used
that
cars.
owned the bicycle shop?
Randy Gothard and John Hargis and a couple other dudes. I went to work for my neighbor selling used cars, Mr. Burr's used car
Mr. Burr, yeah.
coin shop. And then I did that for a while, but then I got the coolest job ever, working at Sound Station, installing car stereos. And I always had a good car stereo before that, but I went to work for that. But, that was the summer after high school. And Kevin McGuire, great guy. And
they're on Frank Phillips, right at the curve.
Yeah, it was an old Phillips station too.
It was?
Yep, just 1 block east of the courthouse.
Right, yeah.
Right beside Winston, where you got all the fancy pictures taken for your graduate or your high school pictures. But Kevin McGuire, he was a genius, but he taught me more working that 3 months about business than I ever learned going to any university. But hey, so I worked there, but I quit because I was going to go off to college. I was going to be David Neer's roommate, Oklahoma State, but I never, I didn't really like school, but everybody was going to college, so you got to go. And my dad.
So you didn't go?
I didn't go. I was going to go. I quit my job, and then
what happened?
I went to Falls Creek.
Oh.
I went to Falls Creek with you and Doug Pendley, Charles Pendley's little brother. Yeah. So I ended up I actually started dating a girl, Eric Riker's little sister, Karen. who was 2 years younger than us. So I said, I can't go off to college. I got a girlfriend now. First girlfriend I
Yeah,
ever had.
women
But it's not-
always, man, I tell you.
I know. But here's the deal. It wasn't the first girl I ever wanted to go out with. That David Hayden wouldn't set me up, but I'll tell you that story later. So I think Karen's mom and dad weren't that concerned because they knew I was going off to school in like 2 weeks and I would disappear.
Yeah.
But then I
They were just
decided
gonna
I
let it
withdrew from
ride.
school. Yeah, I withdrew from school. And I think they were like, you did what? I said, yeah, I withdrew from school and I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to stay home. And my dad said, you got to get a job. So I went back down to Sound Station, said, hey, Kevin, can I have my job back? He goes, Keith, I just hired somebody. It's too late. And I was like, oh my gosh. So my dad said, get a job. So I looked in the Sunday newspaper and there was an ad. He told me I could stay at home as long as I worked and save money for college next year. And so I said, looked in the newspaper and saw an ad for a Phillips 66 gas station. It was right across from the hospital, Boulevard 66, hiring people. So I went down, picked up an application, filled it out, took it back down to them, and they said, handed it off to the kid, and he goes, no, you got to give it to the manager. I said, where's the manager? He's in the back. So I went around the back and walked into this old dungy office inside the gas station. And I'll never forget this guy, Kevin Shank, big old cowboy with a big cowboy hat, a big thing, a dip in his mouth, and a spit platoon on his desk. This was 1982. And I said, hey, here's my application. I'm looking for a job.
Back in the good old days.
Back in the good old days. And he said, he looks at it and he goes, looks good. But he goes, you're 18 years old. And he goes, I've had it up to here with 18-year-olds. I'm not hiring another damn one of them. I still remember that. I can see it. And I looked at him I didn't know what to say. I was like, what?
Can you imagine someone saying that today? Man.
No. So I said, about that time, and this is interesting because, everything works out. About that time, the phone rings and he picks up the phone and, they said it was the manager at the one downtown. And I called, it was Larry Harjo. And he must have said, hey, do you got any applications that you're not going to use? Because I need to hire somebody. And Kevin Shank says, yeah, I'm looking at one. He's 18 years old and I'm not hiring him. But if you want him, I'll send him down. And I said, so he gets off the phone and he hands me back my application. He goes, you know where the Frank Phillips 66 station down by the railroad depot is? I said, yeah. He goes, go down and give it to that manager. Maybe he'll hire you. And I said, okay. So I drove down there and I walked in, he didn't have an office. So he took me out to the outside by the pop machine. And he looked at my application. He asked me if my references, we had to put 3 of them down. He goes, are they good references? And I said, yeah. And he goes,
Who
well,
did you list?
I can't even remember who it was, but they were people that had known me. And so he said, well, I'm going to call all of them. And I said, okay. And he goes, and then he says, here's what he said to me at the end. He said, all right, it's Monday afternoon, guys. He said, if you have not heard from me by Wednesday afternoon, you did not get the job. Don't call me. Don't come bug me. It's over. He said, if I call you, you got the job. If I don't call you, just figure it out on your own. And I sat there thinking,
Go somewhere else.
wow. So I went home. My dad got home from work because he worked at Phillips 66. And he goes, how did your job stuff go today? And I said, I don't know. It was interesting. So Wednesday afternoon, I got the phone call and Harjo said, be here at 8 o'clock for training. And that was August 18th of 1982. So I ended up working for him. I did tell him when I was interviewing that I only wanted to work for 1 year. And he goes, why do you only want to work for 1 year? I say, because I'm going to college. Because all my friends, your parents included, said, Keith, you got to go to college. If you don't go to college, you're never going to go to college. David Neer's mom, Karen, she was all over me because she was like a second mom. You know, gave me all kinds of advice. But I said, I'll go when Doug goes, because you know Doug Penway was a year behind us. So, but I ended up going, and 3 months later, it wasn't that bad. I didn't have a girlfriend anymore because Karen's mom and dad made her break up with me. So
where did you go to school? So eventually you went to school.
Yeah, so I ended up going my first year to NEO in Miami, Oklahoma, and with Doug. But I ended up continuing to work on the weekends at the gas station. I'd come back every weekend and kept making money. And then
where'd you go after that?
Then in the fall of '84, I went up to Oklahoma State for a semester, which was a bad idea. And then
why was that?
It was just too big of university for me, and I didn't have any money. It took all my money too fast, and it was 2 hours away, so it was hard for me to come back on the weekends and work. So then I decided to come back to Bartlesville, and I went back to work full time and went to Bartlesville Wesleyan part time for the next 2.5 years.
Are you sure there wasn't a girl involved at that time?
Well, I was dating another girl, but that ended.
Who was that?
But I did become what?
Who was that?
That was a girl that I met that was from Alaska. That so.
What was her name? Or you'd rather not say?
I
remember who it was. I remember who it was. I can see the face.
Yeah.
She had a Thunderbird Elan.
Yeah, she had a Thunderbird.
Yeah. Okay, I know who you're talking.
She had a nice car.
Yeah, that's a nice car.
So, but we ended up, we dated for 1.5 years and we went our separate ways.
Yeah, nice girl.
Yeah, she was a good girl. Yeah. And
I don't remember her first name. What did it start with?
It was Linda.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, but
okay.
So here's, everything works out.
Yeah.
Because, here's the deal. Do you remember the girl that I wanted David Hayden to fix me up with?
Do I remember?
At Pizza Hut? I told you at the beginning of this interview. I still hadn't ever gone out with her. So after Linda and I broke up, one night I was working at the gas station, actually at the service center by this time, down by the post office. And she came in and she got fuel and I saw her and I said, hey, I was working with my coworker, John. And I said, I'm going to go give her a free car wash token,
Ooh.
So that was, So she got fuel and I said, hey, you want a free car wash? She said, yeah. So I gave her a car wash token and she was in the car wash. Now she's trapped for like 7 minutes. So I'm talking to John and I said, hey, John.
7 minutes?
Ask her out. Well, I gave her a super car wash. It wasn't just the basic car wash. This is top of the line. So then I said, I'm going to ask her out. Wax and all. So I said, so I went around the back. I knew she had to exit the car wash. So I'm standing right there when she comes exiting out of the car wash, and she rolls down her window and she thinks I'm going to ask her how the car wash was. And I said, hey, you want to go out to a movie? And she goes,
wow, a wash and a movie.
Yeah. And she said, when? I said, I get off in like 15 minutes. Let's go tonight. I didn't want to give her any chance to say no. So she said, okay. And see, I knew her because my sister married a guy that was the assistant manager at Pizza Hut. So, by this time I never.
He's like, scoot over, I'll drive.
Yeah. So she had a really cool car too. She had an old, it wasn't old, but it was like one of the Mitsubishi Dodge Challengers from like probably 1979, 80, the 2-door silver car. So she hung out until I got off and she followed me over to my parents' house because I was still living at home, saving money and working and going to school.
So you guys haven't known each other for 10 minutes at this point. However long it took you to give her that token and for her to drive to your house, That's how long
But,
you've known each
I
other
mean,
at this
we
point.
never really talked, but we had mutual friends. So, and my boss, Harjo, used to go down to Pizza Hut all the time, and she was working down there back in like '83, because she was a year younger than us. She graduated from Caney Valley in '83. So I kind of knew her, and I'd have to come down to Pizza Hut sometimes to ask my boss a question, because every afternoon he spent like 2 hours at Pizza Hut because he had a superstar assistant manager that could run the shop, So I kind of said hi to her and all this, but I never had the guts to ask her out. So we end up going to a movie. Can't remember what movie it was, but I had great company. And we end up going, we start dating. And at this time, she was working at Disco International. And so she would work, she was a waitress at evening, and she would get off like at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'd go hang out at DI. And then when she got off, we'd go hang out for a while. And then, but it only lasted like 30 days. And then she dumped me. Broke my heart. But,
Oh man. So the things we do for love, right?
Thank you for listening to the last of the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982 podcast. And we'll be right back after this.
Pop's Daylight Donuts, man, they've got the best tasting donuts, sausage wraps, pastries in Northeast Oklahoma. And also, if you'll tell the staff there, hey, Scott Townsend said to give me a large spicy pig, they'll give you a free large spicy sausage wrap. But you have to tell them Scott Townsend sent you. So tell them, hey, Scott Townsend told me to tell you to give me a large spicy pig. So there's the offer. There's the call to action. So go to Pop's Daylight Donuts, say hi to Mark for me, and go to Pop's Daylight Donuts and get you some. The other sponsor is Castafly Outdoor Adventures.
Adventure. That's where it begins. We look to create and document our moments in time while embracing the majestic wonder and beauty of the great outdoors. Our quest is to explore the back roads of the Ozarks, camping, fishing, and just getting lost. Refresh your spirit and join us on our next adventure.
Paul and his crew invite you to subscribe to the Castafly Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. So I want to talk about this picture. Let's fast forward. Before we shut this thing down, we've already gone 45 minutes here. And so I'm going to flash this picture up here. Take a look at this. This is you. If there's a picture that embodies Keith Clark, this picture is quintessential Keith. And so every time I see this picture, it begs the question, what is going on? What's going on? So let's end it with this. Tell us the story of how you got this picture, what happened before, and what's the story of this picture?
Yeah, so, I've been working for Phillips for 39 years, done a lot of different stuff, but I worked in the image group, which was the marketing group also. And I got on the team that does the Big 12 basketball championship, Phillips 66 Big 12 basketball championship in Kansas City every year. And so I'm part of that team, and I took over doing the on-court promotions,
On-court?
And so what I do, my job is to go out and find people in the stands and get them to convince them to come down and either shoot free throws or do some kind of on-court promotion. We also move people from the top of the arena down to the bottom. So I'm kind of like a mascot for Phillips, but I'm doing stuff
You look like a
The,
mascot for Phillips.
Hey, that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that in just a second. So,
No.
so what happened? So what happened was
I'm shutting you
we
down
had
here
this-
after this story.
No way. We can go. Butch got an hour and 30 minutes. I want.
Why does everybody say that?
So,
You know
so
what?
here's the
If
deal.
you have
Hey,
as
hey,
compelling a
get back
story
to my
as Butch
story. This is
Bolin,
my
you can
story,
have
man.
an hour and 30 minutes also. Okay.
My story. My story. Okay. So here's the deal. We have this promotion called the ultimate shot, and you shoot a free throw, not a free throw. You shoot a layup, and then a free throw, and then a 3-pointer, and then you get half court. And you get 66 seconds because we're Phillips 66. You know, we give them 66 seconds. So you have to make your layup. You get $200, $200 in gift cards. Then you make your free throw. You get $200 in gift cards. Then you go back to the 3-point, make it. You get 200. So you got $600. Once you make those 3 shots, you get to come back to the half court line and start shooting half court shots. But we're not. We're not a cheap company. So we have 3 basketballs going. So I'm back there with a basketball at half court, and I tell the contestant, we got rebounders, and I'm saying, hey, when you make that 3-pointer, you get back there and you be ready. I'll have a basketball waiting for you. And then they'll be throwing them to me, and I'll be feeding you basketballs. You just keep shooting. And we have an announcer, and she's saying, she'll be counting down the last 10 seconds. But I said, if I throw you a basketball, doesn't matter what she said. If I throw you the basketball, you shoot it. So this guy's shooting. He gets back to the half court and he's missing and missing and missing. And we end up,
He made it to the other. He made the other.
He made the first 3. Yeah. And got back there. And I said, they're throwing me the balls and I'm rebounding in them and I'm running. Well, they throw me a basketball and my rebounder was a bad pass. But I have to go behind my back. I grab it. I'm spinning around behind him. I throw him a beautiful pass and I just yell, shoot it. Because I just heard her say 2, 1. And I just, right when I threw the ball, it was like 1. And he shoots the ball and it goes up and nothing but net. And the crowd, this is at halftime, the crowd goes crazy. He goes crazy. But the video or the picture was taken by ESPN. And it shows me behind him because I just caught it. I just threw it and just yelled, shoot it. It was the last second shot and it went nothing but net. And the crowd went nuts. But that's the famous picture from ESPN. But what's even crazier, real quick, we did that same promotion the next day. I picked, the next day, and I picked another guy. And he was about my size. My marketing people were like, Keith, we don't really budget for the $6,000 shot because nobody ever makes it. So it probably isn't a good idea to pick another winner. But my CEO of the company says, hey, pick a winner. So, I'm picking
Greg
winners.
Garland
So,
or whatever.
yeah, Greg Garland. Yep. So I said, hey, I found this guy, but he's about my size. And he didn't want to do it. But his son was there. He's like 12. And I started working on his son. I said, hey, tell Dad to do it. So finally he convinces his dad and he goes down. This is the next session. He makes it. So now I'm 2 for 2 at the half court. So now I've given away $13,200. See, I'm good at math. So I'm $13,200 given away in just the first 2 sessions of the tournament. So that night we're going, and now I'm thinking, hey, it's not just about one person making it or 2 people. I'm going for 3 in a row. So I see this girl and she's sitting there before the game and she's kind of slunched back in her chair. The game hadn't started. And I said, hey, I walked up to her and I said, hey, do you play basketball? Or can you shoot a basket? She said, yeah, I can shoot a basket. And I said, that's what I say to everybody, not just because she's a girl. And I said, because one of my things is I don't want to bring somebody out there that can't make a 3-pointer.
Right.
And at least hit the backboard, because then it would be like, we're not even trying.
Yeah.
So, I have questions. I'm interviewing them. And she goes, yeah. And I said, can you make a 3-pointer? And she said, yeah. I said, great. I said, can you hit the backboard from half court? Same questions I asked everybody. She said, yeah. I said, how would you like, I'm with Phillips 66. How would you like to do my half court promotion? And she's thinking,
Then Keith goes, what are you doing tonight at 6?
no, I'm married. I see right here. No reason I got the best wife ever. So, hey, and she's put up with me for 29 years. She has to be the best wife ever because I don't deserve her. But hey, here's the thing. So I said, hey, like 3 minutes left in the half, 4 minutes left in the half. I'm going to come get you. We'll bring you down to the court. And at halftime, we'll be the first thing that goes out at halftime because we're like the featured thing now. We're head of the cheerleaders and everything. And the talk in the arena was, Phillips has done it twice now. So at halftime, nobody leaves. So I'm talking to her before halftime and said, hey, if you get tired, you can always shoot a granny shot. And I've always wanted somebody to do a granny shot from half court. I just think it would be really cool. Kind of like Hoosiers, So, so she said, all right. So this girl goes out. On a layup, she misses the first layup. And I'm thinking, what the heck? But she makes her second layup. She goes back to the free throw line, nothing but net. She steps back to the 3-point line, nothing but net. So in 4 shots, she's at the half court. We got like 48 or 50 seconds.
She's got all kinds of time.
All kinds of time. I'm back there with a basketball. She is just calm as can be. And I'm sitting there like, getting excited, So she goes in. Lines up, and the very first shot, she does a granny shot. She kind of lines up like a golfer and goes like this, and she does a granny. She misses it by like 3 inches to one side. She takes 2 steps over, or moves over a little bit, realigns, nothing but net on the second one. The granny shot, boom. So basically, in 6 shots, she won $6,600 in gift cards. ESPN's there. By this time, nobody, because we've done it 2 in a row, the whole arena is going crazy. People have said that was more exciting than the basketball games. ESPN puts it on their top 10 that night. And I have reporters that says, interviewing my contestants and me and saying, how do you pick these people? Are you guys bringing in professional basketball players?
Yeah, ringers.
Yeah. And I said, they're just random people. And we had a lot of fun. So it was a fantastic 3 for 3. As of today, according to my people at ESPN, it ought to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. No one has ever picked 3 random people to hit the half court shot in a row. So that's my claim to fame.
There you go. So there's the picture. There's the story behind the picture. It's a good story.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up. You're at the graduation, and Keith is walking off the stage with your little diploma in your hand and your little chocolate milk. And so you go, hey, Keith, what's your advice to yourself, your younger self? If you, knowing what you know now, what would you say to yourself, 18-year-old self?
I think I would say that you never know what's going to happen. You never know why things happen. But if you just stay focused and keep walking, you will end up where you should be. You may not think it at the time, but you're going to end up where you should be. There's been many a times I thought about quitting Phillips, but I didn't. There was girls that I thought were going to be my future wife, and they weren't. And, God has the perfect person picked out for you, and he has a plan for you. And I think everything I do, I've had a lot of near misses, forced decisions, mistakes. I've asked a lot of people to forgive me for my stupid decisions I've made or whatever. My wife's had to forgive me a lot. But I think, the most important thing is keep moving, stay focused, and learn from your mistakes and be a better person in the future, and give that advice to your kids. I think a lot of, family is the most important thing. And sometimes we work too much and we don't focus on our family. And that's the only thing you're going to remember when you get old, as the good times that you spent with your family. I don't know. Is that it? You know, we could talk about motorcycles and bicycles. So
A lot of people know you already because you've been on the show 3 or 4 times. So,
Yeah.
you know, this is, we'll end up with that. So, well, good. So that's good advice. Keep moving forward. Yeah. Any last words to the Wildcats watching, listening to this?
I've really enjoyed watching all the episodes. You know, it's been, in some ways, you understand people. You know, would have been cool as if you could have done this
Easy
back
now.
when we were 15 years old, because we would have seen,
No way.
you know, if we would have been, if we would have been honest, if we could have seen this when we were 15.
Kids wouldn't have been honest.
I know, but
you
it would have
don't
been
know
interesting.
crap. You know, you think, I'm going to save the world. I'm going to, you know, do all these great things, blah, blah, blah. And I'm the best and brightest. And that's the way kids think, I guess, or should think. But
Yeah. I met a guy one time that told me, you know, he was an older guy, and he says, I'm not smarter than you. I just had more experience learning from my mistakes. So I've learned from those mistakes. And what I'm trying to share with you is my mistakes, so you don't make the same mistakes I made. So, you know, I'm not judging you or nothing. Just think about my story and, you know, understand that none of us are perfect and we all make mistakes, but we can all make better choices and do better by learning from other people's mistakes.
they should show this series of episodes to the graduating class of
2022.
2022. That, you
We
know,
started school today.
all these people. Yeah, that's true. That's
This
true.
would be a great, great opportunity.
What would you tell the graduating class? Huh?
This would be a great, you know, instead of home economics or mechanical drawing, you know, the book Freedom Riders talks about this. You know, it kind of tells their story. And I just listened to that book. It's a great book. And it talks about all the stuff that was going on in those kids' lives and how they overcame it, you know, because they had an incredible teacher. We all had incredible teachers. You know, if you look back, that's what's so sad in my situation of high school. I had incredible teachers, but I didn't, you know, now I had incredible parents to put good work ethic in, you know, because if I didn't work, they were going to beat me. So they had friends, you know. In fact, I still think David's mom, Karen, I still think she was about ready to beat me a few times, and I wasn't even a kid, you know. So, and I'm still friends with her today. I talk to her quite often. She actually came by and visited a while back, and I was over at my mom's house, and she saw my vehicle over there, and she thought there was a party going on, you know. And my mom's in Washington living with my sister now, and so she came in and we sat there for probably an hour and a half having a conversation. It might be a good thing. Interview the parents that are still alive about their kids. Karen would be a crazy interview.
No, that school thing's a good idea, actually. You know, all the Wildcats that have been interviewed so far have all had good things to say. So it would be good to pass those things on to like
the next generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great social experiment. And I got to stop it here, but you know, I also want to say thanks for the donation for the Col-Hi Wildcats podcast channel. Keith has donated, I think it's like $12 a month or $18 a month to put this on Buzzsprout, and then it goes to all the podcasting platforms. And,
yeah, I'll do next month also.
So
I'll give you
August is on Keith. So thanks, Keith, for
August is on Keith. I'll do September also.
All right, cool.
I'll do September. Just remind me so I can give you the money. And a chocolate, you know, a Wildcat Long John.
Wildcat Long John. All right. Well, Keith, thanks a lot for the interview. Thanks for your time. Thanks for all the great stories.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
So for Keith Clark, this is Scott Townsend. Thanks for watching, listening to the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982 series. So for Keith Clark, this is Scott Townsend. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.
The Last of the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982 podcast is a Dietzo Man production. For more episodes, visit the Last of the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982 YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.